So I dropped out of college after my sophomore year, drinking, partying, was in a frat, all that good stuff in college. Dropped out and I'm like, I want to focus on business, focus on just becoming a better version of myself, focus on making money. 40K is the minimum that I'm looking for in these flips. About 180% return on investment is like my bottom line, what I'm looking for. 6K in on a mobile home, I'm getting 7K on the down payment, I'm 1,000 in the green, and then making payments of anywhere from $500 to $1,000 per month until the home's paid off.
Got it. Welcome everybody to another episode of Real Estate AF Podcast. Today we have our guest George Wohar. Kind of met through the DMs. This guy's doing some cool stuff with mobile homes, mobile home flipping, and also now training people as well to do the same thing. Correct?
Yes.
All right, right on, man. And I guess I shouldn't forget my co-host over here, who's
the one
busy,
and only
Ryan, the one and only Ryan LaRue. But yeah, what's up, dude? Appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, and I appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
Good time.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, what you got going on right now. And
So our biggest thing right now is mobile home investing. Getting parks, main mission behind it is just bring more affordable housing to the market. We're able to do that through mobile homes. I've been doing that since 2017, getting inside of parks, flipping mobile homes inside of parks, bringing them to market, turning them and park by park, mobile home by mobile home.
So are you doing any buy and hold, or are you just flipping?
Just flipping. We're selling some on seller financing, which gives us the ability to create that passive cash flow because we're not the landlords. Once we buy and sell them on seller financing, we're just lien holder on title.
Okay.
So we're just holding the mobile homes. They're paying it off until the total's paid off. Ideally, we're getting our total, everything that we put into the mobile homes, we're getting on their down payment, ideally. Right. So let's say I'm 6K in on a mobile home. I'm getting 7K on the down payment. I'm 1,000 in the green, and then making payments of anywhere from $500 to $1,000 per month until the home's paid off.
Got it. So what's your typical nut on a mobile home flip?
40K is the minimum that I'm looking for in these flips. About 180% return on investment is like my bottom line, what I'm looking for. With we're doing like single off deals, and then we're also scaling and buying deals inside of parks and buying just the vacant homes and doing it on a higher level basis. So that's a little lower. But with our single off deals, like 40K, we're looking for on a minimum.
And how long you been doing this? 2017.
So what is that? 6 years, 7 years?
Right on.
Only mobile home?
Mobile homes, yep. Primarily mobile homes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And it's a lot easier turnaround too. Like mobile homes are considered vehicles. So we're able to get in there, buy them that day, the day that we see them. We get the title, bring it to the DMV, get started working on them, and flip them within 30 days. Yeah, it's a fast process. Yeah.
Right on. So what's the next step with this? Just doing this forever? You want to own mobile home parks? Where are you going with this?
I got one park under contract right now. So just taking the park to the next level as well. Right now we're scaling the mobile home business. So just being able to, like right now we're in the process of purchasing 150 mobile homes. So scaling it multiple states throughout the nation, growing it that way, and then flipping it into the parks and just buying the parks as well.
Nice. I like it. Yeah. Why mobile homes?
Back in 2016, I was trying looked into other different forms of real estate. I was looking into wholesaling. I was looking into multifamily homes, different things of that sort. Then I was sitting out to lunch. I got introduced to this guy who's worth $800 million. I got introduced to him for something else that he was doing, this thing called Junior Achievements, where it's like, we then were at an event. It was me, the guy who owned the rights to Think and Grow Rich Institute was on my right-hand side, and he was on my left-hand side. We were sitting out to lunch. He got off the phone and he's like, I was just talking to my broker. I'm selling my mobile home parks for $168 million. I was like, okay, tell me more. And he just started taking me down the ropes. He owned 1,000 mobile homes at that point in time. So he's like, get started with mobile homes, then get into the mobile home park space. Yeah. I'm selling my mobile home parks for $168 million. I was like, okay, tell me more. And he just started taking me down the ropes. He owned 1,000 mobile homes at that point in time. So he's like, get started with mobile homes, then get into the mobile home park space. Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm doing. The mobile homes has been so great though, like what we're doing with the mobile homes. So I haven't pushed that hard on the mobile home parks yet, but we're going to be making our way into that this year.
So you had a successful guy just tell you what to do. And
tell me what to do. Yeah.
Doing it.
So this is what you got to do. I said, tell me everything. I would report back to him. He's like, all right, let me keep giving you the information.
That's awesome. So he's still technically a mentor to you?
Yes.
Right on, man. Mm-hmm. So it says he sold off everything?
He sold off all his parks. He owns strip malls and different things of that sort, but he sold off all his stuff, like all his mobile home parks and all his, that was back in 2017. So he sold it off a bit ago.
All right. Well, right on, dude. Well, we'll come back to the mobile home stuff, but you said something right before this, and we got to get into this. So semen retention.
Mm-hmm.
You said how long did you
I
go?
went 5 years.
Why?
5 years. So I was reading Think and Grow Rich, and in that book, I took it very literal. I'm like, I want to be the best at what I can be. I want to be able to be an overachiever, be above everyone else. And in that book, one of the chapters, it said, the vast majority of men don't achieve noteworthy success until their 50s because they're not releasing all of their creative energy, your sexual energy, your creative energy through sex. So I'm like, okay, let's try it out. And I just started going. I dropped out of college after my sophomore year. So I was out of college. I got everything out of my system in college, all the drinking, all the sex, all the party and everything. And then I went 4 to 5 years. I think it was 4 years exactly. 4 years just focus on business, retaining my semen, not drinking, not partying. Very antisocial in that period of time as well. There's definitely things that I could have done differently in order to make it better those 4 years. But then I was just like, let me go down the semen retention route. And after a while, I realized the benefits of it started to kind of come back a little bit because I just pretty much killed that sexual energy versus like being able to utilize it. There's different ways to go about semen retention where like you're increasing your sexual energy, your creative energy, but I kind of just like started to kill that off and I felt myself getting a little docile. I'm like, all right, let me change things up here.
Damn.
Yeah.
So I mean, so you went 4 years. So I mean, you have to have some sort of like results within. So like you go a year, like that's a long ass time to not have sex or anything like that. So are you like, okay, I'm starting to see results, like I'm getting, I'm becoming more successful, whatever it is that you're focusing on. It was working to help you continue to go another 3 years.
Yes, 100%. So I dropped out of college after my sophomore year, drinking, partying, was in a frat, all that good stuff in college. Dropped out and I'm like, I want to focus on business, focus on just becoming a better version of myself, focus on making money. And that started to happen. Started getting very clear on what I wanted, taking action, growing my businesses, and just like full focus on everything. And I just continued to get results. 21 years old, making like $30,000 per month. I dropped out of college at 20. So I'm like, all right, stuff's actually working. Right. So let me just keep going down this path and stick to this path and see what happens. And it was working. So I'm like, let me just keep going. And then I was living in New Jersey at the time. Then I moved to New York when I was like 25 or 26. And then that's when I was like, all right, let's make a shift here from just semen retention, keeping myself isolated.
So as much as I really, I don't want to know this at all, but I have to. Like the first time after the 4 year period, like that had to be an explosion, dude.
So actually, when I was coming towards the end of it, like the end of my journey of semen retention, coming to the end, like let me figure out exactly how to use it to my advantage. And then some podcast came across me like the actual practice of semen retention is like you want to masturbate without ejaculating, like really get clear on that. Then there's this book called The Multi-Orgasmic Man where it teaches you how to like multiple orgasms during sex without actually coming. So I started practicing that.
Wow.
So then that came into play. So I didn't explode right away because I was practicing and I was understanding how to actually like work my body. You said you want to get deep on this podcast, right? Vulnerable.
Wow. I didn't expect this.
I didn't know there was even a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. Look it up, semen retention. Go on TikTok, semen retention. You'll see a whole lot about it.
TikTok, dude.
Like no orgasm or orgasming without.
So orgasm is like full body orgasms without ejaculating.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I don't even know where to go from here.
Who knew we were going this route?
I thought you were a mobile home guy. Dude.
Talking about semen retention.
Is this what you
it's
guys
more
do?
interesting.
That's what you
do we do in the mobile homes. Yep.
Yeah. So meth and semen retention.
Semen retention, we're golden.
That's so funny. What do you what's some weird stuff you see in these mobile home parks? I know I mean I've done some myself, but
weird stuff I've seen. I mean, it's just nothing too crazy. I mean, mobile homes, like you go in some of them and it's just insane how people live. Yeah. Some of these. Now, we go in parks where they're not like parks that you'd see on Cops. Trashy parks like that you'd be like, stay away from. And that's what everyone thinks when you hear mobile home parks. Right. Like, oh, Cops, white trash, trailer trash, all this stuff. That's not the parks that we're focused on. So we don't see too much crazy stuff. I mean, I've been in parks where there's just junk is piled to the top. Nothing like insane though. Like you would think that I've seen crazier things, but I really haven't seen anything insane. I get to ask this question a lot. I'm like, we focus on parks that are pretty high quality, so we're not seeing anything too crazy.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
We did some, I assume you know who Chris Root is.
Yes.
Yeah. So I went to his mastermind at his house maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. He took us around to his parks. He's a mobile home guy, right? And the crazy shit at his parks. You know, you hop on this tour bus. He takes the whole mastermind on this tour bus, goes to all his parks, discusses them, and they're like Louisiana.
Yeah.
So south.
Yeah,
Some of them are some
different
shit you
level.
see on Cops for
Yeah.
sure. He's got some clean ones. He's got some really clean ones, but there's some that it's just like, damn, this is like, there's definitely some meth labs in this.
Whole meth labs, cockfights in the back, chicken fights.
Dude, chicken fights. There were chickens. You know, being there, you've got the gators and stuff too. It's a whole different world down there with those mobile homes.
Yeah, it's a different market down there for
Yeah.
sure. It's a whole different beast down there.
Yeah.
Louisiana.
So I flipped strictly condos all of 2019. Same thing. It's like an affordable. Like here, we don't have a ton of mobile home parks here. I guess if you go to the outskirts, we kind of do, you know. But I flipped strictly condos and townhouses all of 2019 just to see how it was, because that's the affordable housing here, right? Like mobile homes, similar,
Yeah.
way better. Like any luxury flip I ever did, sucked on, was not worth my
The
time.
return, yeah.
The return was not worth my time. But the affordable housing, mobile homes, condos, stuff, you know, I know some guys that do a lot of mobile homes. They're kind of known as mobile home guys here. They crush it. Get into the bigger houses, they look pretty, but you don't make shit on them.
Yeah, that's what people don't realize too. Like,
Yeah.
there's such a huge stigma around mobile homes, which is like great. It keeps people out. Back at the end of 2022, that's when I'm like, I'm going to start teaching it. Just a different mission that I wanted to step into. But I kept it quote unquote a secret from 2017 to 2022. I'm like, I'm not going to talk about it at all. The returns are incredible. Just the stigma. People think, oh, if I sell a mobile home, people can't afford it. People aren't going to make payments if I sell it on seller financing. Complete opposite. Even all through COVID and all that stuff, I didn't have a single tenant buyer that missed a payment. Every single payment, one person was a week late. That's it. Because we vet our people and we want to make sure we're good quality. Now, if you're in parks that you were talking about in Louisiana, where it's like you expect people not to make payments and stuff, then you'll probably get people that aren't making payments.
Yeah.
But you want to qualify your buyers, and that's what we always do.
Yeah. So where do you get the money for these? Because I know mobile homes are hard to finance.
Yeah, so for the ones that we're purchasing
Yeah.
specifically, I have a infinite banking policy, so I'll borrow against that and I'll just funnel that into it. As we scale, we're getting family and friends who are making investments and whatnot into them.
Got it.
We're not financing anyone. We're getting most of our mobile homes for under $10,000. So 90% of
land?
them under $10,000. No, inside of parks.
So
We're
okay,
primarily focused on inside of parks.
Really?
Yeah.
Because like for me personally, and I know a lot of guys too, they stay away from leased land.
Yeah, we go all in on lease land.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Mastered the lease land space. It's so much simpler. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're considered vehicles. If they're on land, then they're not considered vehicles. They're just considered real estate. But inside of mobile home parks, because they don't own the land, they're considered vehicles. So it's a simple title swap at the DMV, MVC title company in order to take ownership of it.
So if you're buying them at 10 grand, you're selling them 50, 60,
Yeah, 50, 60s.
and you're putting what, 20 into them?
It depends.
Yeah.
Like the first one I ever purchased, I purchased it for $3,500. The person, off-market motivated seller, and this is what we're looking for. She was living in Florida. She wanted $45,000 for it. I let her know the most I can pay is $10,000. This was the first one I ever did. $10,000. She said no. Came back to me a couple of weeks later and was like, "Hey, is that offer still on the table?" Because the person she was going to have purchase it fell through. She lived in Florida for a year. She was just holding on to it, paying a lot rent every single month, and that's like their pain point. It's like, I'm paying lot rent every single month. The winter before that, one of the pipes were cracked. Water was leaking everywhere. So I offered her $10,000. She said yes. I said, I got to take a look at it. I want to actually make sure I want to purchase for $10,000. I ended up coming back out $7,500. She accepted that. Then I went there and I turned on the water. I didn't know that anything was messed up with it. And the water was leaking out of one of the pipes. It was just shooting out everywhere. I'm like, this is my first mobile home. I don't know what to do here. Talked to the neighbor. The neighbor was like, there was ice everywhere last year. Like, it was all over the place. So I called the buyer back up and I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I'll purchase it from you, but $3,500 is the most I can purchase it for. And like, I was scared at that point. It was my first one ever. And she's like, fine. And I purchased it for $3,500. Perfect. I had the maintenance guy at the park come over to take a look at the pipes. He twisted one thing up and he's like, oh, you're good to go. Oh shit.
Oh
Threw him
my
$20.
gosh,
I'm like, awesome. Thanks, man.
Nice.
And then I put $2,000 into that one. I think I was $5,800 all in on that one. And then I sold it for $52,000. I sold it on payments. I collected $7,500 as a down payment. So I was ready in the green, and then $652 per month for the next. I think it was like 60 something months.
Damn.
That's
Nice
that's
work.
pretty solid. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty solid right there. How are you finding these places?
Going to
And
parks,
motivated sellers.
yeah, becoming the go-to person for these communities. So building relationships with park managers, putting out bandit signs, sending postcards, and we're focused on the park. So it's like once we become the go-to person for these communities, we're getting 10, 15, 20 mobile homes at a time. Like a couple months ago, we purchased 10 mobile homes. Manager goes, hey, we have some mobile homes that are coming in. You want them? This person's passing away. This person is behind on their lot rent. This person's getting kicked out. They're the gatekeepers. They come to us. They let us know what has to be done. And just building those quality relationships with them.
How do you build the quality relationships with them? Kick them.
Kick them a little bit.
Cash.
Kick them a little bit and just become interested in them. They're hearing people complain all the time. So you talk to them, you let them talk, you joke around with them, let them laugh a bit. They love you.
Yeah.
Are you dealing with 55 plus communities at all?
I do have some in 55 plus communities, yeah.
How do you get around that?
Not my go-to. They just let us in. I tell them what we do, business model, track record. They let us in. A lot of times, as long as you're building a relationship with them, letting them know, hey, we're not living here. We're just purchasing the mobile homes inside of these communities. We're going to be fixing up. Like we can sign a different contract if you have a different contract for us. They're like, yeah, go for it. Because they don't want to focus on the mobile homes. The majority of park owners, they just want to rent out the land.
Yeah,
They're in the lot
yeah,
rent business.
yeah,
That's it. They don't want to deal with the mobile homes. If someone else is coming in, is going to buy the mobile homes, fix them up, make them look nice and sell them, and they're paying lot rent in the meantime, they're all for it.
So on your back end, when you go to sell these, the ones you sell, they're not getting financing on them, correct? It's all like either a cash deal or seller financing.
So they're getting seller financing, cash deals, or sometimes they will get financing. Anything 1976 and newer, you can get bank financing for.
they will get it within a park still.
Within a park,
Got
yes.
it. Cool.
So
That's
they're
cool.
able to get that.
Yeah.
We haven't had, the bulk of them is either all cash or seller financing.
Yeah, got it. So you say you're like teaching this? How?
Yeah, so we have our academy, Mobile Home Success Academy.
Okay.
So we're just teaching the step-by-step process of it. Like literally we have our video trainings, everything of that sort, group calls and all that good stuff. And we're just teaching people the step-by-step process of getting inside these parks, building relationships, how to fix up, sell, A through Z of mobile home investing.
Do you have like an actual course?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do.
How did you create it
Created that, yep.
yourself, or
Yes.
you hire?
Myself. So I had people who were like doing the back end stuff for me, but like all the main stuff, like all the content, like I created myself.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many subs do you have?
We have, I think 100, like 70 something people in there right now.
Yeah.
And we keep it small. We don't want to like kill the market and like have a ton of people in it. So we make sure to vet everyone. Like we do our calls, our sales calls, everything of that sort, break it down, make sure that the people are qualified to get in and actually join the program and join the academy. And if they're a good fit, then we break it down for them and we get them on board.
Nice.
You got some good success stories with that?
Yeah. We have members who, because we help them with the negotiation process. We help them literally step by step with everything. We do deal reviews. If they have a deal, we'll review it before you purchase it, make sure it's a good deal, especially in your first couple. I mean, we have members who are getting deals for free. One of our members in the first, they wanted 12,000 something for the deal. He ended up coming back to them with like 4,000. They said 8,000. I'm like, don't purchase for 8,000. Just like kind of let it sit for a bit. They came back to him and said, hey, we realized we didn't need the money. Our insurance covers it. You can have the home for free. It's like, all right, cool. Take it for free. Yeah. But we got some good success stories with it.
Right on. How much does it cost?
We don't really go over the price point on just live because we want to make sure people are vetted and we're always changing the price point.
Sure.
So we want to make sure that people are good. And a lot of times, like if we go over price and they just hear price, people talk themselves out of things. Like, oh, it's too much, it's too expensive, I can't afford it. It's like, okay, let's actually break down what your limiting beliefs are around the price point versus like them just being like, oh, I'm done. I don't want
That's
to.
fair. You're a good salesman.
Thanks.
How do people find it?
We have it on our social media, Instagram, Facebook. We have mobilehomesuccess.com/training is like one of our training sites that they can go on in order to get access to it. Watch a free training video, break everything down. And if they're interested in the model, then just click on the link, schedule a call, and we jump on a call with them.
Right on. In terms of location, so you're in New Jersey right now. That's really all you're focused on? Or are you looking at some other areas?
So New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Florida, West Virginia, we're expanding throughout the nation. And another thing we do with our members as well, like another reason why we created this is because we're able to partner with our members in different states. Like sometimes they need capital, we'll lend capital in the deals. So now we're spreading out California, Texas, West Virginia, Florida, and we have our own deals in those states as well. But being able to partner with members throughout the country now just takes it to a whole nother level.
It does, man. Building community.
And we know what they're doing. They know what they're doing too because they're going through our academy. So like, all right, you know what you're doing. We'll partner with you on the deal and get this deal funneled out.
Are you are you a member of any other mentorships like coming through?
So my main thing was just learning from my mentor. So the one who I learned from, the guy who sold his mobile home parks, he taught me everything, step by step of everything. He owned 1,000 mobile homes at that point in time.
Yeah.
So specifically for mobile homes, like that was how I learn.
That's
Other
the guy.
mentorships for other things, but
Yeah.
that's who I learned everything from.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you're not part of any other like gurus course or anything?
For like other stuff, like mindset stuff and whatnot, but
Okay.
not specifically for mobile home side of things.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, you gotta. It's kind of funny, like just that part, because you gotta respect that, because everybody, you have all these people and all these gurus out there, and everybody's like, oh, I gotta do his, and then they do none of them, or they half-ass all of them. And then so honestly, dude, I kind of respect that you went all in with one guy and
That's
just
the
made
thing,
shit
man.
happen.
Yeah, I call it a justified procrastination when people are just learning.
Yeah.
Like, let me learn from this person, and it feels good because
Yeah.
you're learning. You get that dopamine release. Like, I'm doing something. But where are your results?
Yeah.
Like, that's what matters. Your results. That's
Well,
it.
it's information overload.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You have so much information, you don't even know where to go.
And it's so easy to get overloaded with information nowadays. So easy.
Totally. From mentorships to even like YouTube, Google, social media. It's like the way you do business is probably not the way we do. You know what I mean? Something completely different, but we can get to the same point. But it's like if I take your information, everybody else's information, then you get lost in the weeds.
And you can use that as an excuse. Like, you get started on one person's process, and you're like, all right, this guy's saying something different. So this one just doesn't work. So let me try this guy's. This one doesn't work. Let me try. No, focus on one, get results in it. If someone else is making it work, then it works.
Yeah.
Get results in it. And if you want to add to it, then after you start to get results and really build it to the place you want to build it, then you can add someone else's stuff in there. But you got to get results and focus on one person first versus jumping from one, because it's so easy to come up with excuses and reasons why you're not getting results.
Totally. Yeah. And so we had a meetup at our other office last week, and there was a lot of wholesalers there, and it's people that some I knew personally, some that I just met, but so many people were just like, oh, I've been in it for 2-3 years, whatever their time frame is, years, and still haven't done a deal yet. I'm like, why? Well, I'm trying to do this, and then I try to do this, and I jump from, it's like being on a pond. They're jumping from lily pad to lily pad. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, eventually you just got to jump in and go for it, right?
Learn from one freaking person.
So I talked to a lot of guys, a couple girls too, at our meetup last week. Same thing, dude. They're just like a victim of information overload. And that's where we've been able to create a business around wholesaling to help those type of people. It's
Fill the
like,
gap.
look, you fill the gap. There you go. It's like you want to be in wholesaling, you want to be in real estate, but maybe they're just not the action taker. You know what I mean? Maybe they're not the entrepreneur to take that. So it's like we've been able to create a business around that. It's like, hey, come with us. Let us hold your hand. We'll do the work, and we'll take you on this journey with us. So we're not mentors. We're not coaches. We don't have a guru program or anything like that, but we're doing the physical business and taking these people who are procrastinating by the hand, and it's like we'll do it for and with you.
So they like find a deal or whatnot that they're going to wholesale, and you guys partner with them on that, or how does that work?
So no, we find the deal. So they come on as like a JV partner essentially. So let's just take you for example. You come to me, hey, I've been waiting for 2 years to do a deal, so I haven't done it. Most likely because either you're just not an action taker, you're on information overload. One of the two is usually the problem, right?
Scared.
Scared. So it's like, but I really want to be in real estate. Cool. Let me take you by the hand. You're going to JV with me. I'm going to put my team to work. So we have our whole team at our Scottsdale office. We put them to work in regards to finding the deal, locking it up, selling it, the whole wholesale process, right? But as a JV partner, you need to bring capital to the table, right? So your thing is you're going to bring capital to the table. We're going to deploy your capital, and we're going to help do all the work with you, right? So we're going to do all the work. I'm going to grab you by the hand and say, watch me do this transaction. And we just keep doing it, and then we split profits.
Like, so their main thing is like they're putting the capital into the deal. You guys splitting the purchase of it or the wholesale or whatnot?
We're splitting the wholesale fee.
Okay.
So like you basically have to pay to play, pay to be on my team, pay to be my JV partner. Now we're locking hands, right? So now you're my JV partner. We have the amount of money, whatever, we have different packages that, if you want to buy in at this level, each package is a little bit different, right? But let's just take our $15,000 package, for example. You bring 15 grand to the table, right? So it's like, okay, you've got 15 grand. We're JV partners. Now watch us blaze this trail. We're going to go find the deal. We're going to lock it up. We're going to sell it. We're going to get paid on it. And when we get paid, you and I are going to split profits.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we'll keep that going. And it's for a year. So each partnership is for a year, right? So now we have it for a whole year. But ideally, we build a business together. But after a year, if you decide, hey, I'm confident now, Well, now you've paid to play, you've done it, you've made money. Now you go off on your own.
And they've seen the process too, and they
they've
understand how
seen
the
the
process works, everything while
everything.
being guided. Yeah.
So you have all, like, literally after a year, and obviously people are going to pick it up, but then you're also going to have people after a year that still are just like, hey, we just want to stay being your partner.
Yeah, this
Right.
works.
This
I want
works.
to put more time into it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now, to take that a step further, now we could take those same people and, like, we're buying real estate. So now it's like, hey, instead of just doing wholesale, why don't you be a buyer with us on this house or this piece of land that we're going to develop or whatever the case might be. So now it's like, now we're kind of going above wholesale. It's not just wholesale, right? But that's like the entry to get you confident in going, basically. So it's like, hey, we're doing it. I'm not just going to show you how to do it. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to provide a course for you. We're going to go do it together. Like, my team, us, will do all the heavy lifting. You just hold my hand and I'm going to take you through it.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing when you build a community, like you said, then like whatever your next deals are, they can be a part of it. You let them know, here we are.
Yeah, exactly. And then as we're sourcing our own deals, because, you know, we do all the marketing, cold calling, PPC, all that kind of stuff. So as deal flow's coming in, and I'm like, hey, check this deal out. This is actually a really good deal. Would you want to buy this with me or with us? You know, and it's like, this is a cool deal. We can buy it and hold it and cash flow it, or we just acquired a piece of land. So it's like, hey, we got this piece of land. We're going to build a 10-unit apartment complex on. So it's like, hey, do you want to be a part of this 10 unit? The profits you're making over here, let's take your profits, put them in here, and invest it.
Love it. Yeah, that's what we're doing with our members too. Like with the parks, like I have some members who are sending me parks. I'm like, if you guys want to partner on these park deals, I tell them all, like, you have first access to everything that we're doing. You're now in our community, so we have parks that we're purchasing. Come on board. We're buying these mobile homes in bulk. If you guys want to put capital into it, put your capital into it, and then you can see this side of it as well. So yeah, no, I love that model. When you build a community, it's like it's limitless.
Dude, that's the most powerful thing. I mean, you know, and clearly you see it that way, but you know, most people are, you know, so I don't want to share deals, but I mean, when you start building out a community, I mean, you know, the easiest one to talk about for me at least is Pace Morby. I mean, he's built like one of the strongest communities I've ever seen, and I mean, he's never at a loss for deals. They're coming to him every single day, all day. He doesn't got to do nothing anymore. And to be able to create that and build that, or anything comparative to it, you're going to be crushing as long as you can leverage it properly.
Yeah. And like you said, being able to like share deals too. So many people get so greedy and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to have 100% of it. What's the saying? 100% of nothing, or like 1% of 100 things.
Right.
It's like a lot better.
Well, and that's, again, going back to our wholesale company, that's exactly what it's built on, is collaboration. You know what I mean? Like, how far can you go as a single person, right?
Yeah.
If you want to go fast, go alone,
Yep.
right? But if you want to go far, go together. And that's kind of like where this whole business model came to. It's like, we can go further, faster, and even bigger, because now we're taking people that want to be in real estate, and it's like, hey, let's just JV on something little. Wholesale's little, you know, it's not really real estate, it's just marketing and sales, right? But it's something you can kind of dabble your toes in, get a feel for transactions, get a feel for the money, stuff like that. Now let's take it up a notch. Let's go buy. We don't do any flips anymore, but like, we're, you know, new development and then buy and hold and stuff like that. That's where we're gonna, you know, where we're aiming now. And so it's like, dabble your toes in the water and then graduate from there. And it's like, once you build that trusted community, it's like, if I take you by the hand and I show you the whole process and we make money together along the way, you're gonna trust me, right? So now let's go to the next step.
Yep.
And the next thing you know, we have a community of people where we're building apartment complexes or buying this land or buying apartments, buying whatever it is we're doing. So the community and the collaboration, it's like,
That's the bottom line. You guys are getting results with them too. And that's where I feel like so many people go wrong, is like they're just focused on, if it's like courses, like gurus, let me just sell this course. You don't build a community.
Right.
You get money in the upfront, but it's like you're thinking so short term versus getting people results, and then that can go into the next thing and the next thing and the next business model.
Yeah. It's all about relationships, man. I mean, that's,
For sure.
That's it. I mean, it's like you said, if you know, you want to go further, you know, go with a group
together.
of people that you can trust, and you know, you built a relationship with and trust you back. But yeah, definitely. You spoke a little bit about mindset stuff, and that you may be in other mentorships with that. I see like your cold plunges on there and stuff like that. So what are you doing with that? And is that kind of a branch off from the semen retention thing where it's just kind of that, mindset?
Yeah, I've been so focused on just mindset. When I dropped out of college, I got straight into the fitness space. I actually started an auto detailing business, and that lasted like 3 months. I didn't care about cars at all. I'm like, oh, this is a nice way to get out of college and like have that excuse. Mom, I got a business now. Can't go back to college. Started that, and then I just transitioned into fitness because I was always into fitness. Started personal training, built a fitness company, online fitness company, and as I was doing that, I would go to like events here and there. Had a coach for that, someone who I was learning from. And then there was someone at one of the events talking about mindset. I'm like, this is actually pretty good stuff. And I started like law of attraction and this and that. And I started like implementing that stuff. I'm like, this actually really works. So then I just started going all in on that and just understanding like, how can I become a greater version of myself? What can I do in order to do so? That's why I do the cold plunges every single morning. Like right after I leave here on Saturday, as the time of this recording, I'm going to this thing called Ice Camp, where it's out in Minnesota, out in the frozen lake. Jesse Itzler, you know who that is? Yeah, he runs it. So out in a frozen lake and just doing all that cool stuff in order to just become a greater version of yourself. Like focus on mindset, focus on growing, like whatever it can do to push me beyond my current capabilities. A couple of years ago, I did this thing called Kokoro. It was a 53-hour training with the Navy SEALs, 53 hours straight, no sleep. And Kokoro means blending the heart, mind, and spirit. So just after the first couple hours, your body's done.
Yeah.
But then it's just like, what do you actually have in you to take it to the next level? And it's just the amount of growth that comes from things like that. I'm always seeking that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a powerful thing. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, especially for her, but we just got back from Austin. My wife did the marathon out there, but she's like, that's her challenging herself. Like marathons, bettering her time. She did a 50K. She did a 50 miler here in Arizona, and just pushing past those limits. Now for me, running, like, no, there isn't a chance on her. I'm not, running sucks. But it's crazy what you can do and what you're capable of when you challenge yourself to do those things, like even just down to the cold plunge. Like, cold plunge sucks. Like, it's not
horrible.
Fun at all. I did one on Valentine's Day, 33 degrees.
Nice.
Seniors is cold as shit.
It's
like
cold.
That too, I mean, just absolutely miserable. That one was guided, which I think was better for me. If I didn't have that lady there guiding me out like 2 seconds.
The guided ones are incredible.
Yeah, my body was screaming. I would have been out. But I did like 5 minutes, and I was surprised because it didn't feel like 5 minutes. I'm like, I can't even believe I stayed in here for 5 minutes, but because my body was screaming. But you just get out in that. I mean, just the effects, obviously, but the mindset part of it. I mean, yeah, it's like, okay, if I can do that, I could probably do this, and if I could do that, I could probably do this. And people don't take that serious enough, I don't think.
No, they don't.
Why do you chase like that stuff?
I don't know. Just becoming a better version of myself. So going back, like when I was growing up, my parents got divorced. My dad was in and out of jail on drugs. And I saw him and what he was doing with his life. And he wasn't taking any responsibility for anything. He wasn't in control of anything. And I remember at like 12 years old, I'm like, I want to be the complete opposite of that. Like, I want to be able to take responsibility. I want to be able to be in control of myself. And I started going down that route of like, at that time, like I started my own businesses, was doing this and that, wasn't doing any mindset stuff at that point in time. I didn't know what that was. But then once I came across it, I'm like, okay, this is how to do so. This is how to really take control of my life and be in control. I did things like a silent retreat, 10-day silent retreat called Vipassana. 10-day silent retreat, you don't know talking, no reading, no writing, you're meditating for like 14 hours a day. And you're just like getting so in tune with yourself and gaining so much mental control.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what the mental toughness, the mental control, like that's what it all comes down to. It just makes life so much easier externally when you have control internally.
This guy needs to meet John Troutman.
I was literally thinking the same thing.
Who's that?
Yeah, our friend John Troutman, he does like the retreats and all the plant-based medicine stuff
Love
and
it,
all the different
Done that
rituals.
too.
The dude is like in tune with himself though. It's like it's wild.
It is wild. Even like ayahuasca, I did that
Yeah, he's into that.
like
yeah.
6 months ago, 7 months ago. It's like the things you learn about yourself and like what you understand beyond ayahuasca. I'm like that. It takes you on such an insane journey in 2 days of doing. It's like, it's crazy. I recommend everyone, once they feel called to do it, like dive into ayahuasca. It's a scary journey, but it's a powerful one.
Yeah, it is. I've actually done it myself. It's been a while now. It's probably 5 or 6 years, something like that. But it definitely changed my life. Like, and it wasn't like just automatic. It was kind of this gradual thing. But I've always been like an angry dude. Just don't even know why. I'm just pissed off. you know, it was affecting my marriage, affecting my relationship. So I'm like, I got to fix this. And like definitely night and day difference. I've done like some mushroom, some psilocybin stuff with the wife up in Sedona, but I've been kind of feeling like I've been being called back to it here recently to, you know, maybe see kind of what the next step in this journey is. But same thing, dude. Like, it's crazy when you go down that rabbit hole. Like, you know, and especially when you're prepared for it, you're open minded to it. You know, it's like, what was I saying? Like, whatever happens, just accept it. Just, you know, be okay with it. And you know, so I was very making sure, like, whatever happens, I'm cool, and like, I was
Don't
like, shit.
resist.
So, yeah, it's a powerful thing. I'm like, you know, I'm on the other side too of the spectrum where, you know, I'm a Christian. Like, I'm like, is this okay? And to be honest, I still don't even know. But I know that it helped me. I know that
If it works for you, yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, if it works for me, it works for me. They say it's like 10 years of personal development, like, all in one, in a couple sittings. And it's so true. And you have to just be open to it. Because you feel that fear going into, like, I don't want to do this. But it's like, if you feel called, you got to dive in and do it.
Yeah.
And just experience it and see what comes from it, and the night and day. And like you said, you don't get results right away, but you learn everything right away, and you get to just continue to implement those things that you learn. See things that you're not able to see from our normal viewpoint.
Yeah, you said, would you say that was 6 months ago? What'd you say?
It was in July, so however long ago that was.
I mean, even with that, what would you say the biggest takeaway from that was?
So I saw so much of, like, how I'm holding myself back. I saw so much even in my relationship, like how I'm not allowing myself to be as open as I desire to be. And just, there's so many different lessons that I was able to implement from that. From, like, I was going to Monaco the next weekend after I was there. I was in Monaco for like a couple months. And I always kept myself back from fully enjoying life. Starting with, I guess, after I dropped out of college and I started semen retention, like 5 years holding myself back. And it became so normal and so comfortable for me to just kind of isolate myself. So allowing myself to actually enjoy life and enjoy what I'm doing and not being so, like, frugal with myself. I mean, I have a list of lessons that I got from it, but that being one, like, I was in Monaco, then I was in Greece, then I was in Portugal, then I was in, like, enjoying what I'm doing and allowing myself to do it in a way and build my businesses in a way where I don't have to just be there to build it. Like, I can do it from a different place. I can close deals from a different place. I can build the team the way that I want to build a team, and really taking the team to the next level. That was another thing. Like, I saw a lot of pains within my life, and, like, visualizing the pain is such a beautiful thing, because, like, what they say, people will do a lot more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. Right. And seeing, like, this is what my life will look like 30 years from now, and being able to see that older version of myself. This is what my life will look like 30 years from now. If I don't get this straight, if I don't get the systems right here, if I don't hire this out here, if I continue to do this, like, this is what it will look like. If I avoid having the pleasure and enjoying my life, like, will I be in this relationship anymore? Like, what's life going to look like? And I was able to see all these pain points and just make the adjustments that were required, and continue to make the adjustments that were required in order to craft my life the way that I truly want it to be, versus, like, me keeping myself from living the life that I want to live, because I'm like, I have to do it this way. It has to be hard. It has to be challenging. Right. And just being more vulnerable too. Like, I remember after I got done, I called up my sister, I called up my mom, I called up my dad, and, like, I just apologized for the way that I did hold myself back and how I might have treated them in the past, and, like, being able to apologize and just create real, like, loving connections. It just took that to a whole nother level for me as well. Increase the vulnerability too.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's crazy what it can do for you.
Yeah.
Well,
it usually takes, like, somebody's trauma. Like, that's why I asked what usually people that push for the spirituality, or, like, the heightened, like, you're going with Jesse Itzler, like, that guy does crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually people that I don't even like the word trauma. I don't really believe trauma is, like, the real thing. You know what I mean? It's all made up in your mind, I feel like. But people that experience traumatic stuff in life are usually ones that search for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People who went through shit in the past and they're like, all right, now let me try to unfilter this and get the layers out and use it to my advantage now.
Yeah. And that's the thing, man, is, like, you learn from it. How can I use this? Like you were talking about being a Christian. One thing we learn in the Bible is God puts you through stuff, not for yourself, but for others' advantage. Like, we're supposed to share that and teach off that, right? I don't know if you're a Christian or not, but that's one thing that from a Christian perspective is to teach off of those traumatic experiences. So sometimes it's like people think, why is this happening to me? It's like, it's not happening to you, maybe. It's happening for you, for others, right? And that's, you know, I'm big into self-development too, joining masterminds, different books and YouTube videos and stuff like that. Like, I don't need to be hyped up and like, I don't need David Goggins yelling in my ear. Like, I don't need that kind of stuff, you know, but I do like heightened awareness, heightened like mentality. And it's crazy because the more I've like strengthened my mind, it feels like, or you know, pushed like the limits of like hard shit. It's like my whole life is just like elevates each time. You know what I mean? And so I'm always searching for more, like better mastermind groups, better mentors, not even necessarily better, but other mentors in other areas, you know?
Even that one question of like, just that one mindset shift of like, why is this happening to me, for how is this happening for me? Like, that is a complete game changer in your life. Like, if you look at like the micro of it and then how it expands you in the macro, it's like, okay, how's this happening? Why is this happening for me? Or how is it happening for me? Then you go, okay, this is how. All right, now let me take action on this. Let me implement this, versus why is it happening to me? Let me just kind of become a victim and not do anything about it and just complain and cry about it.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, that is, while very small, I mean, really it's a very small shift, but the implications of that are massive. I mean, just down to like, you know, when I was angry all the time, I mean, you know, a simple shift, and I can do it now where it's like, you know, maybe I feel myself getting mad or whatever, but it's like, dude, like, what? Come on. Like, I'm so blessed. Like, I have like the best life. But it's like, if I didn't make that shift and I stayed angry, like the collateral damage that would cause, just that one thing, you know, whether I was rude to my wife or my kids or whatever, like that collateral damage that they carry with them from that, maybe that one moment where I yelled or was pissed off or whatever, you know, it's just that small shift.
Yeah.
If you can make it, like, it literally can change the whole trajectory of your life.
And change your kids' lives too. Like, there's those little things, like you acting different in a moment, like not getting mad or angry at something versus like seeing the lesson in it and being able to have a conversation with them about it. Like, just that right there completely changes their lives too.
Yep.
It's like a whole different level when you have kids too. And like you have a family who's like looking up to you and sees you and they're like, oh, wow, this is the shifts that we can make. This is how we can look at things. This is why this happened to me here.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's a wild thing. And, you know, I'm a lot older than you, but, you know, and I have a big family. I have 8 kids.
Wow.
And I've got to see that like live in action, you know, because from my first marriage, I had 3 daughters. You know, they didn't necessarily get the best of me. I was super young, but, you know, my kids now and who I am now, like it's crazy what you can see in the just down to the conversations that we're having, you know, that are super motivating. And Dad, I want to do this and I want to, you know, become this, and I'm starting my business and all these things. It's wild, dude. So I've got to see it like in action.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Seeing them develop from the ground up and knowing like the effect that you have on their development and what they're doing, and even being able to look at that and like, they are living this way now or taking action this way because of who I am, because of what they've seen through me, through osmosis. And it's wild to see it that way.
It is. And but it's also like, the concept of like, I'll probably tell the story wrong, but it's like there's 2 kids, grew up in the same house, same parents, same everything, but you know, and you got to, we'll just say dad, we'll just say it like your dad. You said your dad struggled, jail, in and out, drugs, stuff like that. And then you got you, who's like, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to be better. But you got, you know, say you have a brother, I don't know if you do, maybe you do, that's not doing anything, and they go down the other direction, and you ask them, it's like, well, why are you doing that? And it's like, well, haven't you seen my dad? But the same thing, well, why are you doing that? Well, haven't you seen my dad?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, it's that crazy dichotomy of like, you know, same family, same upbringing, but it's like one can go this direction, one can go this direction, but everything else was the same. Pretty wild
Viewpoint on it.
Yeah.
It is wild.
Well, dude, this was cool. This is actually pretty cool, man. Not that I didn't expect it to be cool, But no,
You didn't expect the semen retention, but you expected.
yeah, I didn't expect that at all. But yeah, so if you're looking to learn about mobile homes and semen retention,
my way.
this is the spot. But no, man, we appreciate you coming out and taking the time, making the trip. And
Where can people find you?
George Wohar 4 on Instagram, good spot. And then if you want to see our like mobile home trainings and different things, mobilehomesuccess.com/training is a good place to find that. But Instagram is a good spot to find us.
perfect. Well, right on, man. Appreciate you. And
Appreciate you having me.
Cool.
another episode of Real Estate AF.
Thanks, dude.
Got it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.